Hey, what's up, guys? My name is June, or some people call me Junie or Junie B. Doesn't really matter which one you call me, just as long as you call me. All right, guys, I'm back with another story time, and this time it's unfortunately about the fallout of another friend, but this time it will be my last. All right, so in this story, this friend is gonna be called Walker. Walker, I had known since high school, since freshman year. Now, me and Walker weren't that close. We weren't like friends, but we had some classes since freshman year. But we didn't really interact with each other too much outside of class. So fast forward, we're out of high school. And the only type of contact we had was via Instagram, which we didn't really interact too much on that either. But one year, 2019 to be actually, he actually invited me to his birthday party. And I pulled up, we smoked or whatever. And after that, I didn't see him until the following year for his birthday again. And it was the same thing. But after that link up, for some reason, we started hanging out quite a bit and started linking up and matching like a lot. I guess we really just started hanging out a lot because we had found out that we lived like less than 5 minutes away from each other. So then we started linking quite a bit, and he started inviting me to all his little get-togethers and little parties and whatnot, which was pretty cool. But we hadn't been hanging out that long before he actually told me that he loved me via Instagram, by the way. But he told me this, and I looked at my messages, kind of like, love. That's a pretty strong word. But you know what I said? I said, I love you too. But yeah, honestly, I felt like we shouldn't have been saying that. One, because we weren't that close. And honestly, that's a red fucking flag. But at the same time, I was like, I guess it's harmless. So I just let the shit fly. But yeah, soon after that, I had went to his son's birthday party and he was introducing me to people and was like, hey, this is June. She's one of my best friends. And again, was another red flag because I didn't think we were that close, but I just let it fly again. I didn't say anything. But yeah, I was like, whatever. And, we would just still spend time together. But I'm not going to lie, I had my guard up because of that and because of past stuff that I had been through, unfortunately. Also, a few times he had treated me to food or whatever. And one time he gave me a good amount of that Smeed, like 7 grams or so. And, I had my own money, which I tried to give to him for the food and stuff. But he was, oh, nah, June, I got you. It made me a bit uncomfortable to receive. And I know some men, they just treat women because it's just a part of their nature and they just like to do it. But I was just hoping that there were no expectations attached to this treatment. Especially because one time during our hangout session, he randomly just started bad mouthing one of our friends, Ryan. He was just like, yeah, that nigga Ryan always with some girl. He just always up in some girl's face. And that nigga drink every night. And that nigga don't even got a place to stay. He live in his car. Then he starts saying, I ain't been with no girl in a long time. Like, I haven't done nothing in a long time. I just go to work and then I come home and just be smoking and chilling. You know, it kind of came off like he was trying to make me look at Ryan like he was a bad dude and dislike him and make himself look like he was a good guy. But it actually made him kind of look bad because he was bad mouthing his friend and telling all his business. Plus, the way he was saying it, it wasn't like he was saying it out of concern. And he's known this friend since elementary. Plus, that nigga's barking up the wrong tree. I like women, and I'm just trying to be friends. But I just responded, Ryan sounds depressed. Men typically cope with depression by sleeping with a lot of women, drinking and doing drugs and whatnot. I would be depressed too if I was sleeping in my car. And Walker was just quiet. So later on, I was hanging out with Ryan, just to see how he was doing. And I found out that he doesn't even stay in his car. He actually stayed at his sister's place. And the funny thing is, Ryan and Walker actually ended up having a falling out. Because Ryan was expressing to me that he was chilling with Walker and he felt like Walker was being shady to him while they were hanging out. And he felt like Walker was talking behind his back, which he was. But I didn't tell him that because I wanted to stay out of it. And then Ryan really thought that Walker wasn't his friend because one night Ryan's car broke down and he asked Walker for a ride home. And so supposedly Walker didn't help him. And, I asked Walker about it, and Walker was like he couldn't help him because his son was in the house. He couldn't just leave his son in the house. And I told Ryan about that. I was like, oh, Walker said he couldn't help you. Ryan was all like, June, that is not true. There was no kids in the house. He could have helped me, June. He just didn't. I'm telling you, June, he is just that type of nigga. After that, Ryan was subbing Walker on Instagram, calling him fake and all that. And Walker responded by posting money on the ground, talking about, oh, niggas is throwing dirt on my name because they're jealous of me. I don't think so. All Ryan had to say was, niggas that be showing off their money really don't be having that much money. It's all just a front. But yeah, I just stayed out of it because I couldn't tell who was lying at the time. But I had my guard up. Like, I hope I'm guarding against nothing. But yeah, of course, me and Walker kept hanging out. And during this time, I met his other friends, I met his family, and I met his girlfriend. Yeah, he got a girlfriend. And I met his son. And no lie, when I first met his girlfriend, she kind of gave me this energy like she had some type of issue with me, like, why the fuck are you around my boyfriend type energy. But yeah, I'm not no threat at all. I had no interest in him. If anything, I would want to talk to her. Yeah, but also around this time, I start following Walker's sister on IG because I thought she was cute, you know. And not too long ago, me following her, it felt like she was throwing shade at me. But then I'm just like, nah, I gotta be tripping. There's no way she's throwing shade at me. I kept giving it the benefit of the doubt because why would she be throwing shade at me? I don't know her and she don't know me. But, it kept coming off that way. Like I would make a post and then she would make a post that connected with whatever I posted, but more so like in a negative way. Like she was trying to like bully me or something. But I just kept giving it the benefit of the doubt because again, I'm like, why was she doing that to me? Even in person, she came off, pretty nonchalant towards me, pretty dry. But I just assumed it was because something was going on in her life, like maybe she was depressed or whatever, so I just chalked it up to that. But again, it was still coming off that way. And I assume maybe it was something I posted that she decided to take personal, which again, I don't understand why she would be taking anything that I post personal because I don't know her and she doesn't know me. So since I was confused and I couldn't really figure it out, I decided to make this fake ass post just to bait her, just to see what she was going to say. And the post says something like, oh, anybody that's ever talked shit about me can't beat my ass. I'm not with all that going back and forth and talking. If you got an issue with me, just swing on me. And I just sat back and waited for her response. Like, let me see what she's going to say to this. Then, I would determine, like, is there an issue or not? And the funny thing is, Walker responded with the clapping hands emojis, like, yeah, hell yeah, which I thought was interesting. Then, more than once she posted, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Like, I'm not gonna say nothing. Which, I'm just like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? It never really answered my question. So I'm thinking like, oh, maybe she gonna swing on me in person. But that never happened. So in my head, I'm just like, she don't really got no problem with me. So the next time I was hanging out with my friend Walker, we were chilling in front of his place, like smoking and whatever. And he randomly just brought up his sister and was just like, yeah, one time me and my sister was at this party and this girl pushed her and she didn't even do anything. She just walked away. In my mind, the only thing I'm thinking is, why the fuck would you tell me that about your sister? Part of me was just kind of like, wait, do she got a problem with it? Because why would he say that? That was so weird and random. But yeah, I was still confused at, exactly what the problem was. And, if she really had a problem with me or really what I posted, she could have just unfollowed me, but she didn't. And instead, she just kept, trying to be shady and whatnot. But I didn't even care. I just thought it was funny. I'm just like, yo, this girl's fucking nuts. But anyways, I would just ignore everything that she would say and I would just keep hanging out with Walker. But from time to time, I'll still say flirty things and send hard eyes or whatever, because I like that mean shit. I got a fetish for bullies, and she was so fine. But anyways, it was Thanksgiving time, and my family was having a little get together. And I asked my family, could I invite Walker? Because he was always inviting me to stuff. I'd have met his whole family, so I wanted him to meet my family because they're the most important people to me. And I thought, well, maybe he's going to be an important part of my life because he said he was my best friend, right? He said he loved me, right? So come on, bro. But he didn't show up to the Thanksgiving get together. But I wasn't tripping. And I invited him to something else like a month later. I invited him to a little fish fry for my auntie's birthday. And he unfortunately didn't show up for that either. The day after, me and him were talking on the phone and he's telling me, "Oh yeah, sorry I couldn't show up," and all that. I'm like, it's whatever, I didn't really care. But then right after that, he was like, "Hey, I drop my location everywhere I go. So if something was to pop off, whatever, niggas is gonna pull up and like shut that shit down." Now, why the fuck would he say that? But I just responded, "Yeah, that's a pretty smart thing to do. I should probably start doing that too when I'm hanging out with you or one of my other friends." And he was just quiet. But then, after that little conversation, we were hanging out at his place. And he randomly was just like, "Oh, I trust you, June. I trust you." And I just looked at him. Even in, a couple more sessions after that when we were hanging out, he said that again. I was like, "Oh, I trust you, June. I trust you." And I didn't say anything. But in my mind, it's just kind of like, do you trust me? Because it don't sound like it. And now because he said that, I'm wondering, should I trust him? Because what the fuck was that? But yeah, I just left it alone. And, I invited him to a couple more things, a couple more outings and stuff, but he never showed up for whatever reason. And I'm not going to lie, it made me feel a type of way. I'm just like, bro, like, are you scared of me or something? It's like, bro, like, what do you actually think about my family? What do you think about me? It's kind of offensive. I'm like, I start questioning, like, yo, is he hiding something? Is there something he's not telling me? Because why you don't want to meet my peoples? Because of that, I really had my guard up. Like, the fuck? What's up with this dude? I really don't understand why he was scared of me or really like scared of my family. It's like, what impression did I give you? I met his family, and every time I went to one of his get-togethers, I was there rolling solo. Like I was there by myself. So I don't know what was going on, but let's continue with the story. So one day Walker threw a party for his girlfriend, and of course I was invited. I got there and I drank just a little bit. I had a shot, I drank half a beer, took another shot, and then I drank the rest of my beer. And at first I was chilling, just relaxing. But then sometime after that, I start blacking out. Like I was going in and out, like I was fucked up. But yeah, I was blacking out pretty bad. Like one minute I'm in the kitchen, next thing you know, I'm in the living room. Like, what the fuck? Like I was completely on autopilot. I was even feeling all on this girl. Like I felt so bad. I was so messed up that of course I had to spend the night at my friend Walker's place. So the next day, me and my friend Walker were talking, and I brought up that girl that I was feeling on. And I was telling him, like, damn, like, I feel kind of bad that I was doing that, and I was like confused. I was just like, I'm not sure if she had any interest in me or not, because she would, walk away, but she would come back into my vicinity. So I was like, I was confused. So I felt like she wanted me to like chase her. And Walker was just like, yeah, that's what she was doing to my homeboy Reg. I'm like, Reg? She like guys? He's like, yeah, she's bi, she's confused. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that, but it kind of sucked a little bit. I'm like, damn, you like guys and girls? Then he started randomly saying, he was like, yeah, every time she come over here, she always off some shit, like off some type of pill or something. He was like, even one time she came over here and handed me a handful of pills. And I'm just sitting there listening, like, hmm. Then he starts bringing up this other girl, and he's like, "Yeah, Jim, you should talk to her. Like, she's cool as fuck. She's a switch, and she got money, and she doesn't care about who fuck with you or who don't. If she fuck with you, then she fuck with you. She's real." I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, like it seemed like he really don't want me to talk to this girl. I assume it's because the girl was his sister's friend, the one that was like being shady or whatnot, and or that she was like no good or whatever. So, I listened or whatever. But anyways, he continued to talk about the other girl, and he was like, yeah, yeah, you should talk to her. Like, she's gonna be at the brunch too. And I considered it, but the girl wasn't even at the brunch. But when we was at the brunch, I'm sitting there chilling, and then Walker had came up to me and was like, "Hey June, you got a lighter?" And I'm like digging in my bag looking for it, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't got no lighter." And he was like, "Damn June, you don't got no lighter?" And then he gonna say, "June got all type of knives and bombs and weapons in her bag." And Walker's girlfriend was just like, "All right, Walker," basically telling him like, "Shut the fuck up, like leave it alone or like whatever." I don't really know. I just thought that was weird that, he even said that in the first place. Like, why the fuck are you saying that? In my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, is somebody at this table a threat? And I instantly start thinking about the girl that I was feeling on, his sister's friend. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is up? Why would he say that? I had looked up at the girl and Walker's sister, and they were just like looking down at their plates, like, eating their food or whatever. But it just seemed really weird and suspicious. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Do I gotta fuck somebody up? Not too long after that, I left. But after that weekend, throughout my week, I kept thinking about that shit. Mostly about how embarrassed I was because I was feeling alone that girl. But also thoughts that ran across my mind was, why did Walker say that about that girl? And why did he bring up my knife? And then I start questions like, damn, why was I blacking out like that? And I started, thinking about, the fact that he was telling me that she be having pills and whatnot. Plus, I recall earlier before the party even started, me, Walker, and his sister were going around to different stores, like getting little things for the party. And I recall that they were talking about pills and they were just like, oh, when you take the pills, it just makes you drunker. I'm like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. That sounds kind of fun. Then also later on, the girl that I was feeling on, she brought up pills. And I'm like, pills? And then she's like, oh, yeah, like, sounds fun, right? I'm like, what? Honestly, when she said that, I just walked away because I was just like really nervous. Because bad bitches made me nervous. Now, I'm not saying that they drugged me because that is a huge allegation to make. But you can see why I was thinking that, right? So since I was thinking about it so much, I decided to hit up my friend Walker and and tell him how I was feeling. But it was really no point in me bringing that up because he was asking the same question, like, "Oh, who did that?" You know. And I'm just like I don't know if I knew, like we wouldn't be having this conversation, And then he was also asking like, "Why am I just not bringing this up like a week later?" So I just was like, fuck it. But yeah, during that conversation, I brought up the girl that I was feeling on. I'm like, hey, yo, like, is that girl cool because of all the things that you were saying about her? And then he was all like, I never said that. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, she cool. He was like, why? You like her? And I'm all like, I don't know if I like her. I don't really know her, but she's beautiful or whatever. Yeah, the convo pretty much ended right after that. But I thought that was so weird that he said, "Oh, he never said that." Because first he was making it seem like she wasn't cool. Now all of a sudden she is cool. So I'm just like, yo, which one is it? Because at first it seemed like he was trying to protect me from this girl, which is cool. But now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, she's fine. Nigga, I was confused. Now I really got my guard up. Like, what the fuck? So of course I'm questioning, is he lying? Is he trying to protect somebody? Is he trying to protect his sister maybe? Now, like I said, I'm not saying that these people drugged me, but you can see why I'm thinking that, right? Another thing I thought was weird was after that night, his sister wasn't throwing shade on IG anymore. Like she wasn't throwing no more subs or nothing. But I do remember her saying something along the lines, it was like, oh, people are trying to make it seem like I'm a bad person. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck was going on. All I know is after that, I didn't trust him, and my guard was really up then. Like, what's the deal? Now, what I should have done was, since I was having like all these trust issues and whatnot, I should have just stopped being friends with him. I should have stopped talking to him and just let the friendship go. But I didn't. Instead, I kept talking to him like an idiot. And sometime later on, I'm not gonna lie, I did something, kind of fucked up. I threw a sub at him, basically. And I was saying like, I don't trust a motherfucking soul. And I was saying like people be saying they don't remember what happened or that they didn't say certain things and they did. Niggas be lying. Which even though these things are true, I shouldn't have said it in a passive aggressive way. But I did. But yeah, that was very wrong of me. I should have just took a step back from the friendship because I was having some major trust issues. But, that's not what I did. Instead, I kept giving it the benefit of the doubt. I put on my rose colored glasses, you know, and I kept hanging out with him. And then guess what happened next? Well, you're going to find out on my next video because I don't want this one to get too long, but I'm going to drop the next one very, very, very soon. But yeah, if you're liking the story so far, give it a like, comment on it, ask some questions and whatnot, and subscribe if you aren't already. Subscribe. And then tune in next time for the next part of the story time, which is coming very, very soon. Peace, loves.